Hey everybody, I'm Chris Pirillo, and this is your Geek Out for today. I don't know if you've been following along, but recently we've made available an official Locker Gnome / Chris Pirillo app, not just for iOS, but for Android phones as well. So give it a shot if you have an Android phone or an iPhone. We put the links in this video's description, and they will likely stay in future Geek Out video descriptions, just in case you forget to look. We have an app. Give it a shot. It's not perfect, but then again, neither am I. Oh boy, another Linux is dead article. Well, it's not dead. It's just the idea of Linux on the desktop hasn't quite taken off yet, despite the people who really love it. The founder of the Mono and GNOME project, you might be familiar with GNOME, really said it all in a blog post recently. When he said and suggested, after, sidestepping a few of the Linux community's shortcomings or perceived shortcomings, suggested that the Linux community rally around just a single distribution to push forward, which is kind of like the antithesis of everything that has made Linux, well, so well loved by the geeks who love Linux, and nerds as well, maybe even some dweebs in there as, a possibility. I don't know how many dweebs use Linux. I use it. I download it to a virtual machine quite frequently to try new distributions of Ubuntu. And I don't live in Linux. I never said I did. I think Ubuntu has the biggest promise for allowing Linux to take off on the desktop. Well, unless, of course, you count Chrome OS or maybe even Android to a certain degree, because Linux isn't an OS, it's a kernel upon which an OS might be built, these experiences. And I don't think it's wrong for the guy to come out and say what he said. So you may think Linux is dead. It's not dead. I think it has a chance to be reinvigorated if the community can get behind a single distribution. Because if that's not going to happen, I'm going to say what I said years ago. Still waiting, and I'm not slamming Linux. Don't take it for that. Understand, I want to see various operating systems succeed, but you have to get behind one thing to make that one thing succeed and work very well for it to gain adoption. It's just how it works. I'm sorry. I don't know. Yeah, okay, no, hang on. I'll change the entire marketplace just to fit your worldview. It doesn't happen that way. You have to get behind one thing. It's the reason why Android tablets never really took off, despite what Android lovers would say. They really took hold when Amazon bastardized, well, okay, no, it used Android for what it was designed to be used for. It's just that now that Google has their own tablet with Android, that's going to be a premium type of, well, ecosystem? Not just a service, really. It's the software tied in with the hardware. And Google's 100% behind it. It's the reason why I think the Nexus 7 has been so popular. But the Kindle Fire has been even more popular because Amazon's behind it. It isn't because it's running Android, it's because it's with a trusted brand, and that trusted brand is completing that experience for users. The same thing would have to happen on the desktop. Maybe Amazon will make Linux succeed on the desktop. That's a possibility. I think you could get behind that. 1 million Apple UDIDs found on FBI laptop. Why? Why does the FBI have this information? What could they possibly gain from this database? Now that part of it's been leaked, and if you want to find out if your iOS device is potentially a part of this greater leak, you might want to run it through, or your UDID number through the utility that we linked in the article. I ran my iOS device UDID. In fact, if you don't know how to get your UDID, in case that sounds like all confusing to you, just download a UDID app from the App Store. I downloaded one. It was actually quite comprehensive, called UDID Plus, and this is not an endorsement, but with that, I was able to send a single email to myself with a whole bunch of information about my iPhone. It's perfectly legit. I didn't have to jailbreak or anything, but why does the FBI have these numbers? Cancer detection. Fast camera spots the disease early. This is one thing I hope I never get. I've had friends have cancer, and some of them have unfortunately passed away. I can only imagine the type of research I would want to do if I were ever stricken or someone in my family were stricken directly with cancer. I'd be stretching out for any kind of possible solution, certainly for early detection. It's one of the reasons why I know I have to get into the doctor to get my annual exam. Don't laugh. It's a big deal. Why I wish I had gone to college. Ryan Pearson actually wrote this article, not myself. I did go to college. I'm happy I went to college. I learned a lot, yes, but I think more than anything it was the discipline that I had to go through to get to the point where I had a degree, graduating magna cum laude. Missed summa cum laude by this much. And believe me, it was strenuous at times, but that has really set the stage for me to be as successful as I have been, or perceivably have been, in life. Yes, I have a degree that is hanging... Okay, actually, it's collecting... I don't even think it's collecting dust. It's somewhere in a bin. I don't use it all that much. But one thing I do have that no one could ever take away is what's up here. What's the best OS for a netbook? Jolly OS! It's simple, it's fast, it's clean, it's efficient, and you guys seem to love it. Candace was doing her research on which OS would fit some older hardware, and it seemed that Jolly OS was the jolliest one around, and it looks kind of neat. I don't really have any older hardware. I tend not to hold on to old hardware, but if I did, I would consider revitalizing it with a fresh OS that was optimized for not necessarily the fastest hardware of the day. Bucket list ideas for geeks. A bucket list is essentially a list of things that you would want to do before you die. And it's a good thing to have, because if you don't know what you want to do, how do you know you've done something that you wanted to do? Think of things. Maybe just start with 10. 10 things you want to do before you shuffle off this mortal coil. Boom, boom. And make them as outlandish as possible. Things that you really, really, really want to do that you believe are absolutely achievable. And then do your best to set out to achieve those goals. One of the things that Diana had on her bucket list was going to Las Vegas. That happened. Now, did it happen because she wanted it to happen? Did it happen because it was going to happen anyway? Who knows? But maybe you're kind of molding your potential future around the things you're writing. Believe it or not, I subscribe to the theory that you go wherever you see yourself going. Automate your home, like in a sci-fi film. Have you seen the SmartThings Hub? It includes its own connectivity and allows you to connect dumb objects from around your house and control them. It's actually really, really cool. I wish I had more automated things at home. The one thing I'm missing, and I know I could, well, fix if I just upgraded not just the software, the hardware, my garage door. I always think, did I leave it open? Did I leave it open? Did I leave it open? And there's technology that exists that would just automatically shut it if it was left open over a period of time. Your home is getting smarter. Now, are you going to be smart enough to help it? Does social media drive sales? For us, it certainly generated a lot of attention. I mean, we use it to drive traffic to LockerGnome.com. When you guys click the links, we track all of that. And I can tell you that we get an equal amount of attention from YouTube, or roughly equal. YouTube, Facebook, Google+, yes, and Twitter. It's like even right across the board. There is no clear winner, which tells me that our strategy is working. We're driving equal engagement, not treating one platform any better than we would any other platform. And I think that is key for engagement. But in terms of driving sales, I'll tell you an experience. So I have Gnome Tomes, these ebooks that I've been selling since like 2001, and sold quite a bit of them actually. When I released the Windows 7 ebook, I tweeted it, and I got a couple of sales. I blogged about it on chris.pirillo.com, got a few more sales. Posted to Facebook, a few more sales. But YouTube, you guys bought that ebook more than anybody else. And I think it's because video translated so well in terms of, telling you exactly why I did the ebook and why I put it out there for people to use, and especially for those who were trying to get their head around Windows 7 when it was first launched. Of course, they could probably still want to know more about Windows 7. The book, or the ebook, I guess it's a book. Who cares if it's E or not? It still sells to this day, but it was video that sold it all, and that's why I have long been a proponent for creating video around discussions and experiences. And, I believe that, yes, if accommodated the right way, social media can help drive sales. Mark Zuckerberg commits to not selling stock for a year. Well, I guess that's good news. I don't know where the stock is necessarily going. I don't think Facebook's going to disappear anytime soon either. They just have to get their head screwed on straight and start doing things the right way. The right way is perceived by the community, because community doesn't necessarily want to stick with one brand over another. If a better tool comes along, they may go that direction. Not to say that a better tool exists today, because I'm guessing that the service that'll beat Facebook doesn't even exist yet. Windows Server 2012 launches as a cornerstone of Microsoft's Cloud OS. It's a big one for all you IT geeks. Apple announces special event for September 12th. Yay! Is it going to be a new iPhone, new iPod Touch, iPad Mini possibly? We don't know. But we will be streaming live. And I have the link for that live stream event already posted. I mean, you could, check the page that I linked in this video's description somewhere. It's going to be scheduled September 12th, 10 a.m. Pacific is usually when it goes live, from wherever Apple's doing it. It will not be me broadcasting or rebroadcasting the keynote. I'll be listening like I've done in the past and talking about it with you, so long as you tune in live for that discussion. Galaxy S3 passes Apple's iPhone 4S, becomes top-selling U.S. smartphone. Congratulations, Samsung. Pirate Bay founder will be deported, Cambodian authorities confirm. Yeah, piracy just may sound cool in theory. In practice, it could land you in a lot of hot water. On LockerGnome.net, Raphael Shimel writes, I've got a name for my website, but the domain is taken. What should I do? Well, either you can buy a new domain or buy that domain from the person who may or may not want to sell it. If they don't want to sell it, you're kind of out of luck. And my recommendation, think of a different name. On LockerGnome.net, Custom PC 48809 writes, should we go back to cartridges for storing video games? It's not a horrible idea. I don't think it's going to happen, though. There's a lot that could go wrong with a cartridge, and plus you have to store it somewhere, and we're going electronic, and I'd be so much happier keeping stuff in the cloud. Of course, now you can't resell a game that's in the cloud because there's really nothing to resell that couldn't be sold fresh. I mean, what's the difference between a new virtual video game or a digital video game and an old digital video game? Nothing. Thanks once again for all the shares that you guys are doing, taking this video, throwing it out to all the people that you know on Facebook, tweeting it out, posting it to Google+, embedding it in your blog. We appreciate that. Thank you for all the comments. And when you guys comment, believe me, we're paying attention, and we pull out the good comments that have good questions associated with them to possibly address in future Geek Outs. And then, of course, we really appreciate when you like the video. We'll see you later. Why does the FBI have these numbers?